Average Dude has something to say about...
Okay, in light of the recent conclusion of the George Zimmerman murder trial, I do have thoughts, and well, let's just go ahead and start off with this whole situation brought out the worst. All the above. I did not like the media coverage. I did not like the favoritism, both sides. I did not like how it was awful. I mean, you had pictures that were used that were they weren't current, and they were tailored to either make Trayvon look as innocent as possible and George as guilty as possible, or Trayvon as guilty, make him look like a thug and as guilty as possible, and George look as innocent as possible, and that's just not okay. It's ridiculous. And it skewered things. And it caused, racial tensions were already very, very raw for obvious reasons, very understandable reasons, and it exacerbated it and made it that much worse. The second part that I want to go over in this video is there's so many wannabes who do videos online, people like me. These people think that they know how the law works. These people, these professionals in other areas like the tech field and whatnot, and they think that they're professionals in law too. No, they really do not understand how law works, okay? It's not clear-cut. The law is not black and white. It is not complete. It's not clear-cut. It's very, very gray, murky, and just there's a reason why there are judges. There is a reason why a courtroom is necessary. There is a reason why you have a prosecution attorney. There is a reason why you have a defense attorney. And it's because our entire system is a mess. Okay? Our Constitution alone is up to negotiation because there are times when the amendments themselves, you will have a situation where you have two amendments and you're wondering, okay, which one supersedes the other in this situation? And someone has to interpret that. It's not cut and dry. Florida's laws. Let's go over Florida's laws because they're an absolute joke. But then Florida's like any other state. Okay, look at the links below. Florida's laws. Chapter 784, 784.048. Stalking, and it goes over definitions and the penalties for stalking. Stalking in and of itself. Definitions are necessary because when it comes to the law, you have to make it very clear what everything is and what everything means. Ambiguity, anything unclear, favors the defense. That's how the law works. Okay? So basically, if Trayvon were to have survived his ordeal, the case against George Zimmerman would have been much more substantial because you wouldn't have had these other little bits, and he would have probably been convicted of that. Chat 782.04, chapter 782 deals with murder, and in section N, aggravated stalking. This is where the state of Florida made its first ridiculous mistake when it came to the law. They introduced the word aggravated, but they don't define it. Chapter 782.32 gives definitions on this particular chapter. What does this item mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? They do not define aggravated. That's a problem right there. That right there created gray area for our... This is what had to be debated. And this didn't even include stand your ground. The stand your ground law for Florida throws another monkey wrench into the situation. It made it a convoluted mess. That's why this was such a legal problem. Now, this trial was rushed. For a high-profile case like this trial was rushed. It began, and before we knew it, over. And that's very... Other high-profile cases take a long time. This one was very fast. I don't necessarily think that was a good idea. But I'll tell you what. I'll just wrap this up right now by saying that no matter what side of the fence you happen to be on, pro Trayvon or pro George, I want America especially to think about this for a moment. In a high-profile murder case, it was acceptable for an attorney to use a knock-knock joke as a strategy for a murder case. A knock-knock joke was used to begin things, and shortly afterwards, cleared of all charges. So a knock-knock joke for a murder worked. Think about that. Think about what that says about our professionalism and our conduct and how we conduct ourselves in courtroom situations, no matter what side of the fence you happen to be on. There is going to be a cartoonist that will write up for political satire, you know, those cartoons. I'm going to see in newspapers, it's probably going to be syndicated. Some political cartoonist is going to write that little cartoon where you're going to have the defense attorney standing and saying, this man is guilty, and then you're going to see, you know, the little bubbles with the comments. You're going to see the defense attorney with his comments saying, my client is not guilty, knock knock, who's there? And then you're going to have the jury say, not guilty. I know that comic is coming. That political satire comic is coming. Someone or some people are most likely working on that internet meme right now. What does that say about us, this entire situation? And just the icing on the cake, last night, looking on Facebook, someone that I've known for a long time decided to write with a hashtag, Justice for Trayvon Martin. He indicated that he said, Justice for Trayvon Martin will now be a combo meal available at a fast food location. I'm not joking about that. If you don't understand how hashtags work, it basically, whatever the hashtag is, it creates a page on that social media site, and everyone that uses that hashtag and has a comment, it all gets clumped together there. And the family of Trayvon Martin indicated that they were thanking supporters for people who offered support online, and I'm thinking, what if they saw that? What if loved ones of Trayvon saw that? They lost a loved one, and someone, unfortunately, who I know, decided to write that ridiculously vile, disgusting, ridiculous comment. What does all this say about us? I just saw a murder case, a murder trial, where a knock-knock joke was used, and it worked. This world never ceases to amaze me. Ever.